right and where we create justice for the sick. It starts here and it starts with us. Are you ready to build a county and a country where women earn equal pay for equal work and where we create justice for all women? Are you ready to build a county and a country where we educate our kids based on their gifts and their needs and the future that lies ahead and where we create justice for all our kids? It starts here and it starts with us. Are you ready to build a county and a country where working people make enough to feed their families? It starts here and it starts with us. Are you ready to build a county and a country where we realize that water gives us life, that climate change is real, and where there's environmental justice for all of us? Are you ready to build a county and a country that welcomes immigrants, where we create justice for the tired, the poor, and those yearning to breathe free? Are you ready to create a county and a country where Black lives really do matter? Where we dismantle our for-profit prison system and create racial justice for all? Are you ready to create a county and a country where the power belongs to the people and not in the pockets of the profiteers? Are you ready to build a county and a country where we're deeply aware of local issues, where people participate in local government, and we refuse to surrender our right to home rule? Are you ready to build a county and a country where our leaders aren't chosen on the basis of cash or corruption, but because they truly reflect the communities they represent? If you believe that, get ready to run for office, because it starts here and it starts with us. Many of us used to believe that Democrats and the Democratic Party were far-off rich folks inside the Beltway who made laws on the basis of checks from donors and lobbyists. And by believing we had no power, we surrendered the power of us, the power of our togetherness, the power of our solidarity, and the power of the people. But we weren't made that mistake yet. This is our party! Whose party?
Our party!
Whose party?
Our party!
This is the party of the people, and we will no longer surrender the proud name Democrat, the party of FDR and JFK and Shirley Chisholm, to corporate lobbyists and their cronies. They don't deserve it. This is our Democratic Party, and we're reclaiming it. When our neighbors see the faces, when they think of the Democratic Party, I don't want them to think of politicians in Washington. I want them to see our faces. We realize the power of our togetherness now, and we know that when we stand together, when we become the change we wish to see in our community, we will always win. So I want to welcome you home, Brevard Democrats. May our home welcome the many who thought they were alone in Brevard County, and may we be the change we wish to see, because we are the change. Say it with me. We are the change. One more time, a little bit louder.
We are the change.
And with that, I want to talk, I'm going to pass it to some speakers who are going to share with us a little about the issues that we're facing in our community. But before I did that, the issue that's most pressing on many of our minds is healthcare right now. I reached out, some of you may have seen it on Facebook, and I asked people for their stories. And if you ever want to be energized about the work we are doing, ask people in your life about their healthcare stories. I wanted to share a note from someone who wanted to remain anonymous, but who wanted to share why he thinks it's so important that we must work to make sure that healthcare is a human right. Here's the letter I received from a friend in Brevard. He said, "It's not something I feel comfortable speaking about to a public audience yet, but I wanted to share my story with you." This is a friend of mine who had never shared this story. "And I want you to know that I'm scared. I have HIV. I contracted HIV when I was 18 and it changed my life forever. I'm currently on a med regimen and I have reached an undetectable HIV status. I am scared to death that I might lose that undetectable status. One of my medications costs $3,600 a month, another costs $1,600 a month, and with my insurance I pay several hundred. And of that several hundred, a lot is paid by Project Response. I would not be able to afford my meds without insurance, and I couldn't do it without the help of Project Response. Just the thought of going without meds is making me cry while I type this. I'm afraid Project Response will lose funding. I'm fortunate enough to have an education and a well-paying career, and I still need their help. That said, not everyone is in that position. They help families so much with food pantries, hospital bills, utility bills. It is a much-needed program, and we can't lose it. That's what I'm scared of. And my fear of losing my medicine has consumed me. It's literally all that I think about now, and I miss when I had peace of mind. I received many stories, and my guess is that many people in this audience have stories like this one. Brevard Democrats, are you ready to make healthcare a human right in our county and in our country? And with that, I wanted to invite our next speaker. Darcy Addo is a public school teacher and an That's right, give her a hand, Darcy Addo. She's a public school teacher and an outspoken advocate for education and for an education that puts kids before politics. She believes in building an educational system that creates justice for all our kids.
Really quickly, my name is Darcy Addo. I ran for school board in District 3 this past election. I did not win, but I learned a lot, and I hope to be able to share that with whoever's running next. Stacey asked me to talk about building justice for our children at our schools, and I think there's so many things that we have to do. But the one single most important thing that we have to do is fully fund our public schools. Yeah! Our legislature that we fully fund our public schools. And really what that means to me is that we stop funding our schools based on student test data. And whether you know it or not, the way that we fund our public schools in so many ways right now is based on how our students perform on a standardized test. So our districts, our schools, and our teachers are funded in large part based on student test data. So as a progressive, as a teacher, and as a mother, I reject all of that as essentially educational malpractice. So I advocate for not taking those tests. The tests that they tell you are mandatory. My children don't participate in them, and I strongly advise if you have children in school, you look into the opt-out movement, because this really is what is in so many ways creating an educational caste system and is really resegregating our schools right now, and it is unjust in so many ways. So opt out Brevard on Facebook, opt out Orlando, United opt out for educational justice.
Levi, are you here? There he is. Levi is a 9-year-old plaintiff in a lawsuit by 21 young people that charges the United States government with failing to do enough to protect future generations from climate change. He aims to create justice for our planet.
My name is Levi, and I'm 9 years old, and I live in Satellite Beach, Florida. Some of you that I know may have heard me speak before, but for those of you who have not heard me speak and don't know who I am, I'm an environmentalist. I'm part of the lawsuit with 20 other youth plaintiffs suing the U.S. government for violating our constitutional right to a clean, sustainable What does that mean? It means the adults aren't doing enough, and so the kids have to step up and do something about it. I'm part of an organization called Our Children's Trust, and they advocate for science-based climate recovery. This lawsuit was filed in 2015 against the U.S. government. Then the fossil fuel industry stepped in as interveners. They tried to deny our case from going to trial, but they were denied. Then the Trump administration tried to stop our case from going to trial, but they were denied also. So guess what? This lawsuit will be going to trial at the end of the year. Why is the environment important to me? Because I'm the kind of kid that likes to be outside all the time and go camping and go boogie boarding and roll around in the dirt. And I'm thinking about that if climate change continues, then I might not be able to do that anymore. Do any of you guys like to hang out outside? Yeah! Imagine not being able to do that anymore. Right now, we have a president that does not believe in climate change, so we have to raise a lot more awareness about climate change if we want to stop it. Thank you for your time. If you would like to figure out more about Our Children's Trust, then you can see me after.
She's a labor activist in Palm Bay whose family has lived in Florida for generations. She aims to create justice for working people and for the poor. Welcome, Harmony.
Alright, I don't have much time, so I'm just going to spell it in. The most common thing I hear when I say raise the wage is, but if they want better pay, they should get better jobs. Well, here's some bad news about the state of Florida. It doesn't matter what job you get, because 67% of our jobs do not pay a living wage. That's the United Way. They've got the info. Because our economy is so dependent on tourism, 50% of our economy are traditionally low-wage jobs. Because of that, that's driven the rest of our wages down. When you see somebody saying that we need to raise the wage or double the minimum wage, don't think it's outrageous. In 1949, we did just that. We doubled the minimum wage, and that ushered in 2 decades of solid, unprecedented prosperity for our state in particular. It created this county, and it created growth and all kinds of benefits for the rest of our communities through that. Woo! My goal is to get a minimum wage doubled, hopefully within the next year, but I do need a little more support than what I have seen around here. So hopefully you guys will help me with that.
Thank you, Harmony. My husband, Sanjay Patel. Yeah, give him a hand. He was once an illegal immigrant and is now the state committee man for the Brevard Democratic Party. He believes in building a country that honors the beauty of our diversity and creates justice for immigrants and people of color.
Brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, Bayo de Beno. In 1977, my parents, Somava and Savita Ben Patel, came to New York City with their 3 sons. They had little money, they didn't know the language, they didn't have any family here, and they didn't have any documents to come here. What they did have was an audacious dream to provide a better life for their children. So we grew up in a suburb of Los Angeles where my parents worked minimum wage jobs for years. The irony of my mother, a devout Hindu vegetarian working at McDonald's, has not been lost on me after all these years. Don't worry, she only brought French fries home. We were taught that if we worked hard, studied hard, we could do whatever we wanted, be whatever we wanted. In my culture, that meant I could be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. We don't have any of those in my family, ironically. But what we end up becoming, we have an investment manager, a pharmacist, and 2 public servants. One of those is me. People ask me all the time, why don't you wait in line and come here legally? For many of us, there is no line. We weren't seeking asylum. We didn't have family here that we needed to be reunified with. And my father, with a high school education, certainly wasn't getting an employment visa. So it's, you know, if you knew the place you call home would never fulfill your dreams or give you an opportunity to ever do that, would you ever leave that land? And if you did, would that be courage or would you call it a crime? Right? So I am proud to call myself an American and an immigrant. As an immigrant, I'm gonna grant some forgiveness to those who denigrate us instead of celebrating us. And I'm gonna grant some wisdom to those to combat their ignorance with some wisdom. Unless you are a Native American on this land, you are an immigrant or are the descendant of an immigrant. That includes every single person who is opposed to immigrants and refugees in this country. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Ben Carson, if you were brought here in the bottom of a slave ship, I'm sorry. You were not an immigrant. You were stolen from your land. And our black brothers and sisters are still suffering poverty today. Our diversity is a blessing to this country. It is what makes America great. I stand here before you proud of my pre-existing condition. I am an immigrant. To my immigrant brothers and sisters, we are with you, and we will continue to fight towards your pathway to citizenship. Thank you.
Next up is Courtney Barker. She's the city manager of Satellite Beach and a former city manager for Titusville. Can I hear from Titusville? Any Titusville in the house? There you are. Not? There's Pam. Thank you for coming all this way. She believes in building a state and a country that honors home rule and creates justice for our communities.
I was just complaining that I had to follow Sanjay. Well, thank you all for having me today. This is great. I am so excited to see the Brevard Democrats getting together, and I'm very happy to tell you that I just changed my party to be a Democrat.
One of us.
I'm going to talk to you about home rule today. Home rule is basically your local government's right to enact laws for that particular local government. And in 1963, the state of Florida voters voted that provision into the Constitution. And of course, the state legislature gave themselves a little out called a preemption. This year, unfortunately, the state has preempted local governments to an astounding level. And to give you an idea of what we're up against, if you believe that South Beach, Miami, should be able to set a minimum wage so their employees can live in their community that they work, we can't do that now. If you believe that coastal communities should be able to ban plastic bags to save the environment, we're not allowed to do that. If you think we should be able to control our right-of-ways that U.S. taxpayers pay for to maintain and acquire, we can't do that now. I can go on and on and on with the level of preemptions that we faced this year that actually did get signed into law. So I just want to make sure that that is something locally that you're all looking at. It's something that we do have to protect. It is often used on a state level, excuses to preempt local governments, the idea of making it easier for business, making it not so hard for businesses to operate in different locations. Those are often the excuses you hear for these rules and laws that they preempt us from. And really what it is control. And a local government that has a different idea system and a different culture than perhaps the state. So for example, somebody in Palaca might have a different idea of how things should be than somebody in Miami. Those people that are in Tallahassee are now making the rules for those people in Miami and for us here in Satellite Beach and Brevard County. So let's protect that, and let's work as hard as we can to make sure that our rules, our culture, and our values are preserved at the local level as much as we can. Thank you.
Next up is my friend Melissa Martin. She is an attorney, a veteran, and the founder of Represent Us Space Coast. As the leader of the Indian River Lagoon Coalition, Melissa was instrumental in the passage of the Save Our Lagoon referendum in 2016. She believes that justice in our democracy is predicated upon returning power to the people and getting big money out of politics.
I have 2 minutes to do this. I too am a recent convert to the Democratic Party.
One of us.
I'll be preaching to the choir on this point, but our government has been hijacked. It feels like we've been hijacked, right? We no longer sit behind the wheel of our own government. We can't control it. There are many reasons why. I'm not going to get into it, but let me give you 2 focal points, just to make this easy for everybody. One is the law. And honestly, we don't even have to worry about that point because it's going to have to take a Supreme Court decision to fix their mistakes in campaign finance. And I'll just give this to you very quickly. It's boring, but it's important to understand. Corporations have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to expand and take care of and protect the profit margin. That is their legal duty. They can get in trouble if they don't comply with that legal duty. Okay? So when they are spending money, corporate money, in politics, big money in politics, that is not speech. That is bribery. By law. The legal definition is, I'm paying you some money and I'm expecting official actions favorable to me. That is textbook bribery. There is no such thing as corporate speech. They can invest, but they cannot bribe. So, that's part 1. Part 2 is this. This involves all of us. And this explains my recent change of heart and hope in what is possible. Some of you know I've been working on cross-partisan unity efforts to restore the public faith and trust in our government, starting with our local governments. Okay? I've had great, wonderful response from the Democrats. Lots of support. 1Z, 2Z Tea Partiers, but no one. I only got crickets from the Republican Party. And so, I'm dropping that effort. And I am becoming a Democrat because honestly, I believe it was a conservative who actually said this in our rally for representation. But he mentioned that it takes an adversarial system to preserve our government. Democrats need to show up and make it really difficult. There needs to be heavy, vocal, loud, consistent, unwavering opposition, no matter what. And that is why I decided to change, because I believe in the local Democratic Party. State, national, there's still some things to work out, but we need to figure this out from the ground up, and this can happen. It's our only way forward. Consider this a moral imperative to preserve and protect the U.S. Constitution. If you're truly an American, you're going to sign up right now to be a local Democrat, okay?
This is how we're going to get new Democrats. It's going to be awesome and amazing new Democrats. Next up is Teresa Lopez. Where are you? Teresa Lopez is a Melbourne City Councilwoman who was born in Puerto Rico, raised in the Bronx, and works to strengthen and mobilize our local Hispanic community. As City Councilwoman, she understands that all politics are local and is here to encourage local Democrats to mobilize to support local issues and run for local office.
That's correct. I am here to motivate you to run for office. And by the way, great office it is. Democrats, you're doing a great job. I was born in Puerto Rico, raised in New York, and once I came down here, I became a community activist because a lot of change has to happen in our municipalities for Democrats to be able to have some impact. The impact that I'm talking about, City of Palm Bay will be one Democrat on City Council. City of Melbourne, only 2. How can we get anything done? How can we turn things around to make this a blue city and a blue state, which is even more important? So please, find out how you can qualify. That's the first thing. Make sure that you know the policies to qualify for local office or county office. That is so important. Next thing is, get your committees together. Everyone, please join the committees of all elected Democrats who are running or Democrats already in place. That is so important. And guess what? If you lose, just like Darcy said, it's a good experience. You get to know your community, you get to know your fellow Democrats, and guess what? You may change some Republicans to come over. So please, because I know plenty of politicians to try 2 or 3 times to run, and then they made it. So it's important. We help each other, and we do the best we can do to turn this city, county, and state around. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Lopez. Next up, William Capote is the mayor of Palm Bay and the president of the Space Coast League of Cities. He's here today to encourage local Democrats to run for office, to support fellow Democrats in their efforts to lead.
You may not see me around a lot, but I'm the silent assassin, as they would call it. Okay? Let me tell you something. In coming back, I'm probably was a young man then, at 32, when I first started in this mission of politics in 1996, that I ran the first time. That's why Teresa Lopez mentions that you grow from every unsuccessful election. And it took me from 1996 to 2008 to become a councilman in the city of Palm Bay. I tried 4 times. So the whole thing about running for local office, and that's the stress here today, is that your heart has to be in it. And I'm going to tell you, it's not pretty. So if you're walking into this with intentions of not to do this job and what it takes to get it done, then you need to rethink running for public office. But one thing I'm going to tell you today, the same thing as a young man when I first walked into this in 1996. This is the first time with Stacey that I've seen the Democratic Party so rejuvenated. And that's why you see me here. And I'm going to tell the crowd out here, follow this girl. She has the heart where it lies. We could come back and turn this county blue. When I ran in this county was blue. 1996. I don't know what happened, but something snuck in and people brought it to the other project called Red. But blue is what we need to be. And this is the right lady for the job.
Woo!
Are you there with me?
Good job, Stacy.
One city, one person at a time. We have plenty of young people and people that are ready to run for public office, but your heart has to be in it. This is not easy. Doing this job is not easy. You have to be patient. You have to have a patient heart. It is not for the weak-hearted. Okay? And with that, I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak with you today.
Thank you so much, Mayor Capote. We have one more speaker before we cut the ribbon. Cameron Carew is a senior at Satellite High School who founded the school's Young Democrats Club, which has energized dozens of students already and registered dozens in the past couple weeks alone. He is a symbol of the energy that we can unleash when we reach young voters. Welcome, Cameron.
These two girls right here, Crony and Sarah, they deserve a lot of credit too. I'm the least competent party. Anyways, the topic of my speech is why are we here, and I think everybody else has done a very great job of explaining those things. But here it is. Why are we here? We're here because we believe in justice, economic justice, political justice, racial justice, and environmental justice. We're here because there are people in this country who work a full-time job but still have to make the tough decision between eating good or paying the bills that month. We're here because we understand that politicians in this country right now serve the interests of the wealthy few rather than the people. We're here because we understand that Black Lives Matter, and that saying that doesn't mean that we hate cops, and it doesn't mean that white lives matter less or that any other lives matter less. It just means their lives matter too. They really do. We're here because we believe that healthcare is a basic human right.
Yes.
We're here because people of my generation are chained by their student debt, and we want to end that. We're here because we understand that climate change is real, the planet cannot wait, and that if we do not act now, our children and our grandchildren will not have a habitable planet to live on. We're here because we understand that calling someone illegal not only denigrates the English language, but it just dehumanizes people who just want a better life for themselves and their families. We're here because we believe in gender equality. That means women deserve their whole damn dollar. And we're here because right now these ideas and all the major issues in this country are barely on the radar of the majority of Republican politicians in this country. And we're here because we understand that our president opposes us on almost everything that we stand for. He actually said during the Republican primary that wages are too high in this country. He thinks that climate change was a hoax invented by the Chinese, and that therefore we must gut the EPA and get rid of environmental regulations. His healthcare bill is going to gut Medicare and Medicaid by over $800 billion and throw, 24, 25, 26 million people off of health insurance within the next 10 years. Boo. He is in favor of privatizing Social Security, effectively getting rid of the guarantee that my grandparents and many people here will not be able to have a life of dignity in their older years. Meanwhile, this boy, this man-child, believes that our military, the greatest, most well-funded military in the world, by far, needs an extra $80 billion. No. We have a president right now who signed an executive order approving the Dakota Access Pipeline, and within a week, the peaceful protest camps at Standing Rock were burned to the ground. He believes that we should institute a voucher program for public schools, which would decimate public schools, but proliferate religious private schools and get rid of the separation of church and state. We can't have that. During the campaign, he said that he was opposed to Wall Street criminals, but now that he's president, he's appointing those Wall Street criminals to positions in which they're expected to regulate Wall Street.
See, all right?
I don't think you can do that. And just a month ago, he had his vice president cast a tie-breaking vote in the Senate to allow states to defund Planned Parenthood. We can't have that. People are dying because of that. Now, these are tough times politically, but many people have it worse than us. These are tough times politically, but do any of us know what it means to flee a war-torn country only to have people call you a terrorist or a rapist? These are tough times politically, but do any of us know what it means to be sent to a foreign country by ourselves because it has been determined that we illegally immigrated here before we could even understand what the word illegal meant? These are tough times politically, but have any of us been beaten within an inch of our death because of our gender identity? These are tough times politically, but have any of us been ignored as we scream, "I can't breathe"? These are tough times politically, but have we been ignored as we drink water which slowly poisons our brains and kills us? These are tough times politically, but have any of us been on a bridge in sub-zero temperatures, being blasted by water cannons as we fight for the land that our ancestors have lived on for 1,000 years? Actually, Stacy was there, Sanjay was there. It wasn't their land, but they were there anyways. Woo! Now, this brings me to a quote from Martin Niemöller, a German intellectual at the dawn of Nazi Germany. It goes like this. I think everybody knows it. I'm going to say it anyway. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And I'd like to think that the modern version of this quote would be this. First, they came for the Muslims, and we said, hell no! Then they came for Latinos, and we said, hell no! Then they came for African Americans, and we said, hell no! Then they came for our grandparents, and we said, hell no! Then they came for women, and we said, hell no! Then they came for Native Americans, and we said, hell no! Then they came for LGBTQ people, and we said, hell no! And then they went to go get reelected, and what did we do? We voted them out. Thank you.
Ribbon and open this office, I wanted to say a few thank yous. First of all, where's Joan? There she is. She's in her seat. She helped set up all of this today. So if you get a chance, get over there and say thank you. There were many other volunteers. Thank you all for making this possible. Thanks to John Cox, who cooked for us at cost just for the food. Thank you, Liz, who's our bartender and made all that happen. I want to say thank you to Darcy, Levi, Harmony, Sanjay, Courtney, Melissa, Councilwoman Lopez, Mayor Capote, and Cameron Carew. I want to say thank you to everyone who went out canvassing and to our district organizers who are leading them, Bob Stover, Jane McCallum, Bill DeBoer, Renee Anthony, where are you? I know you're here. Jessica Burgum, Tom Viola, Jack from District 4, Pete Colombo and Rachel Russell at our merchandise table over here. And I'm going to read through what may seem like a long list, but I'm really proud of it, because these are the people who allowed us to open these doors. This is a grassroots funded office. People are giving $5, $10, $20, $27, whatever they can give every month to make this possible. So I just want to say thank you to Antonio Alban, Renee Anthony, Marilyn Ballard, Jim Banger, Karen Best, Brenda Beritsky, Al Brenner, Kim Castellana, Valerie Chips, Carol Conklin-Berry, Joan Crutcher, Bill DeBoer, Kathy Demoranville, Pam Dierschka, Kathleen Duffy, Saul Edelson, Don Elkazan, Tara Forster, Joe Godleski, Dorothy Greenberg, Janice Gregory, Margaret Hayes, Anna Heine, Susan Holcomb, Ananda Hangalada, Michael Howe, Carolyn Howell, Dejo Elia, is that correct, Dejo? Marty Cara, Craig Calabo, Louis Kontnick, Ben Landis, Ron Langbecker, Liz Lark Riley, Jen Luxinger, Steve Mansfield, Kat Martinez, Jess Martini, Gail Meredith, Terry Moore, Michael Nickel, Karen and Mike Pennick, Cy, Karen Pizzette, Ken and Marilyn Privity, Yvette Rice, Fernando and Lorraine Rendon, Ariane and Oscar Rivera, Laura Rovera, Jack Schluckber, Richard Schultz, Deborah Stevens, Kathleen Talbot, Tracy Thompson, Tom Viola, Dan D'Souza, Claudette Wells, Jeffrey White, William Whitehead, Warren Winneck, Denise Young, and Lisa Zelnick. Thank you to all of you who are pouring your love to make this possible. We really appreciate it. If I could have 2 children come up and hold the sides of this ribbon so that we can cut it. Where are our scissors? Okay. And if I could have all the officers come up here for a little photo op before we do this.
I'm about to run out of battery. Just hurry up.
We're waiting for the giant scissors. Are you guys ready for this? While we're waiting, I have one more thing I think we need to do. Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
We're outside. Let's do this as big and as loud as we can. One more time. Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Come on, run out of battery.
All right, we're going to pose real quick. But this, my friends, is what democracy looks like.
Everybody.
Yeah, we're there. All right. 1, 2, 3. Welcome home, Democrats!
Well done.
Go ahead and get some barbecue, get a drink, come inside. You can register to vote.